Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm with Ramirez Jr. And today I got the all-star cast with me. We got your boxing fix. What up?
What's happening, man? Appreciate you having me. How's it going?
Going great, man. Thanks for making the time, brother. I know we were trying to link up and collab for a time. We also got a familiar face of the channel. Glad to have you back, B. Boxing with B.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
No problem. And then we got David, aka SportsNtunes. What up, David?
How's it going, guys? Happy Sunday.
No problem. And then we got Mario Tapia, up-and-coming amateur boxer. What's up, Mario?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you guys for making the time. So we're here today to talk about the last night's fight between Teofimo Lopez and Pedro Campa. The Takeover has announced his arrival to the 140-pound division. What did you guys think of that fight? We'll start with you, your boxing fix.
I mean, it was good. It was kind of what you want to see from Teofimo going up to 140 and trying to make a statement. And he was calling out other fighters. He looked strong. He looked comfortable. Footwork looked good. So, in my opinion, I mean, he checked the boxes so far as to what you want to see.
Yeah. What about you, B? What do you thought about the fight?
I thought it was a good fight. Like you're saying, I think Teofimo, the first couple rounds, I thought, man, it's going to be a quick fight. Campa didn't look too good. I was like, oh, he's not going to take too much. It's going to end early. But I think after seeing that Campa took those shots, he took heavy shots and still continued. Yeah. So Teofimo, I thought it was good for him, but at the same time, he's going to need some time at 140 before he takes on a fight with any of the top guys. Especially, seeing how Campa was able to, like I said, how he was able to take these shots and then even land some on Teofimo. I don't know. I think he needs a little more time, but, nothing he can't adjust.
I agree. What about you, David?
I'm going to go a little back with what Cuba was saying on our previous interview. He was saying that the guy that Teofimo was boxing against, he wasn't just any easy guy. He was a pretty tough guy to crack. But Teofimo, he's shown us in the past that he can be at that elite level. Beating Lomachenko is not an easy thing to do. So I think he looked great. He looked comfortable. And he said it himself. He doesn't have to struggle to make weight. He feels comfortable at 140, and he's not going to fight anything lower than that. So he can probably just kiss all the title bouts, like the Haney fight. If it's going to happen, it's going to have to be at over 140.
140, all right. Yep. What are you, Mario? What are your thoughts on the fight?
I thought he looked really good. He looked really confident, like his old self. And I think his footwork looked really good, and his defense was super sharp.
So, yeah, great. Awesome. And then BoxingManiac, thanks for joining the stream, brother. Glad to have you back. What were your thoughts on the Teofimo Lopez versus Pedro Campa fight? I think he may be adjusting his audio. All right, so we'll come back to you, BoxingManiac. I think for me, I was kind of a bit critical in the beginning leading to the lead up because the fight posters didn't have Pedro Campa on it. So I was like, this is obviously being billed as the Teofimo Lopez show. It's going to be a showcase fight. And I was expecting him to win by knockout within the first 6 rounds. And for the most part, it was a showcase fight. I think Teofimo was never really in much danger. Yes, he took some punches, but he was in control of that fight. And the 7th round showed his power, still carried over to 140 when he got the knockdown and eventually the stoppage. So it pretty much played out how I thought it was going to play out. I was impressed by Teofimo's callouts post-fight, basically calling out all the top dogs. So Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, Sean Cepeda. He wants the smoke, so he's going after the champions.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, would you expect anything different from Teofimo, to be honest with you? We saw how loud and brash he was with the whole Lomachenko situation. So to be honest with you, I like seeing that. It creates that, that excitement. So I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think he celebrates the knockouts with his dancing and the backflip. So I guess anything less from the biggest callouts, we wouldn't expect from him.
There you go.
Yeah, and then BoxingManiac, do we have your audio back or not yet? He's still messing with that. All right.
Yeah, I think like Mario was saying earlier, he looks back to his old self. You see how happy he was celebrating with his team when he went back to the locker room, taking pictures, celebrating, dancing. It just shows that he's ready to bring it back to the old days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So where does he go from here? Obviously Teofimo Lopez is is a star. He's highly marketable. Who should he fight next?
Well, I think B put it perfectly. He's gonna need somebody else before he gets in there with the Ryan Garcias, who's going up to 140 also. The Regis Prograis of the world, but I think someone like Zepeda or Pedraza would be good for him. And then, depending on what happens with that, then we can possibly looking into the Ryan Garcias and the Josh Taylors and, you know, the upper echelon of that weight class, I guess you can say.
Oh, yep, good point. What about you, B?
I think to jump off of that, you know, I don't know if I would necessarily put Ryan Garcia in that kind of thing of like the Ryan Garcias, because I would take Ryan Garcia before I take Chon Cepeda, because, for example, look at the last person that had Chon Cepeda in their mouth saying, I want the Cepeda fight. I can beat him. I want to jump. You know, it's him. I see the flaws. And that was Josue Vargas. And so we saw how that turned out. It didn't go past that first round. As far as Ryan Garcia going up, I think he still has a lot of growing to do, you know. So against a guy like Teofimo, the only thing is, if he takes that fight, let's just say taking social media out of the whole perspective, all right? So we just think about boxing. Ryan Garcia in the ring still has a lot of things to work on. He needs to not put his chin up in the air. He needs to work on that defense. You know, against Teofimo, he's going to match with someone that has that speed. The only benefit to him if he took that fight right now is that Teofimo's coming off that loss. And so, like you guys said, he had a good performance last night. But at the same time, a fighter that goes in there after a loss, sometimes that affects him. Even look at when he celebrated. Yes, he celebrated like he used to. He had that energy, but it was very emotional. So it shows you like he had a toll in the ring, maybe outside the ring, but timing-wise, I mean, that might be a plus for Ryan, the fact that Teofimo had a kind of like a, you know, like a slump in a way. So that would be that. But as far as taking like Chon Cepeda next, I would say hold on. So but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. What about you, David?
Exactly what B said. I think I would not put Ryan Garcia quite at the level of Chon Cepeda at the moment. Chon Cepeda is a whole different kind of animal. My boy Chuy fought against Chon Cepeda, and Chon Cepeda got him pretty good as well. So yeah, Chon Cepeda is not in the same.
Avoid him.
Not a joke.
Yeah, I mean
he's a great fighter, man. I definitely don't want to take anything from him. He's definitely a good fighter. I don't want to make it or anything.
No, I mean him and Prograis is gonna be an all-out battle. That's gonna be a good one to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blockbuster though. Either way, like if he was to get Chon or Ryan Garcia, it's still going to be a blockbuster fight. People are definitely going to want to see any of those fights.
For sure.
What do you think, Mario?
I don't know if you guys noticed, but like right after the fight ended, like Oscar De La Hoya left right away. He left. He didn't stay. Like I definitely think that shows like Ryan still needs more. Like how you said, like fixing his defense, like his footwork. He's super flat-footed. Like I'd want to see him like utilize his footwork a lot more, because like he's so lengthy and long, and his check hook is super good. So like I could see it, like if he was to use his footwork, he'd catch him so much easier too.
Ryan gets away with a lot of stuff because his hands are so fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And easy to target a hit.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's quick.
But even against these guys, he does get caught a few times unnecessarily.
Right.
He does, and I think for me, as far as like who I want to see Teofimo with next, agree with all you guys. I don't think he should jump in the ring with the elite level after this first fight in the division. I would actually want to see him with Arnold Barbosa Jr., that rumored potential fight at 140. I think that would be another good barometer for him.
Yeah.
And now, what about Pedro Campa? What can he do for at 140? Who should be his next opponent?
Oscar Valdez. If Valdez goes up, I don't think Valdez is at the same level for 135, or what is it, 130 that he's fighting in?
Currently, Valdez is at 130. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he should probably go up and try some luck somewhere else.
Maybe, yeah, it could be a scrap.
Honestly, I'd want to see him fight the guy that's in Pedro knocked out, Josue Vargas. I think that would be, because they're both coming off of losses, and like see like who's hungry and stuff.
The only thing though is that would be a dangerous fight for Vargas if he did that, because of the fact that, I mean, it's a bad label. No one wants to have the glass chin label, but at the same time, if he doesn't work on that defense and Campa catches him with something like that, he caught Teofimo and Teofimo took it. So that might be a Cepeda Josue Vargas all over again. So I don't know if he, I mean, he could take it. It would be exciting, but at the same time, for him, dangerous wise, he might want to reconsider it.
Yeah. Or have Loma come up as well and get another rematch. And that way we'll see if it was luck or if Teofimo really beat him by skill.
Or Theo goes back.
Goes back. I would actually want to see Cambosos move up to 140 and rematch Teofimo at 140.
Yeah. He might do that after this fight with Haney. After Haney beats him again, who knows? He might. Well, in my opinion, if Haney beats him again, let me correct myself. In my opinion, if Haney beats him again, I think Cambosos does actually move up to 140.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Yeah, and going back to Pedro Campa, I think even though he lost, he's still going to be a very marketable fighter because he's now going to be that test for the fighters who want to fight Teofimo to send a message and say, well, I handled Pedro Campa easier, or took him out earlier. So there's any like Ryan Garcia potentially could target a Pedro Campa now to try to show like he's better than Teofimo.
That creeped into my head. That creeped into my head. I wanted to say Ryan, but I'm kind of thinking yes, no, but I can see that happen.
You guys want to see? You guys want to listen to something crazy? Like
what's up?
Jose is going to be a little like snippet for the little future. But what do you guys think if Jorge Linares goes up?
Jorge Linares at 140.
Yep. You saw what he did to Haney. Haney didn't have an easy time with him.
Yeah, didn't he wobble Haney, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of the ring, send him back to the corner, kind of on spaghetti legs?
That's exactly what I mean.
I don't see Linares going up. I definitely think he's like too small for 140. Like, just saying, like Devin Haney's like a big 135 pounder, and then like he couldn't like. I don't think Linares would be able to take that power, like, because all his losses come from knockouts, and they're at a lower division.
And Linares is about what? How is he in the higher part in his 30s, in his late 30s, mid-late 30s?
Yeah, he is.
That's tough.
He's still a good fighter. I mean, if he was able to stumble Haney, that's Haney's not an easy fighter as well. You could consider him in the top elite level, right?
Definitely, I would.
Yeah.
He's not the champ for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe not Linares Teofimo, but what about Linares Campa?
That's what I mean. Either of those guys, Teofimo. I mean, he can showcase. Another showcase would be nice if we were to get that bout. Or Campa, if he wants to try to bounce back and see what he's really got.
That would be explosive. And the thing, too, for Campa that looks good for him is that although he lost the fight, it wasn't like he lost, like he got knocked out cold or anything like that. It's like the referee jumped in and stopped it, but at the same time, like it didn't look like he couldn't continue necessarily.
Right.
So
that was another thing I was gonna say, like if he jumped Teofimo jumps right into those big fights, they've all been hit with big, like by big, like not by big punches, but like big punches at 140, and all those guys are solid 140, like Regis Progress, when like Josh Taylor and like all of that, and Teofimo, I don't want to say he didn't have power in his fight, but at 135 he knocked him out like face on the canvas, and at 140 he was cracking him, but it didn't look like he was.
It didn't have the same impact.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I don't know if you guys caught it in the transmission, but most of the commentators were trying to say that Teofimo didn't look as fast. They were trying to call him like a little slow. Did you guys catch any of that?
I mean, I did kind of get something like that, but at the same time, when I was watching him, I don't know, it wasn't like that electric performance that you always get from Teofimo. But that comes with going up in weight too. Like you're fighting against a solid guy that's taking your shot. So you're also reconsidering, like, do I have that power to knock him out at this? Am I going to knock him out? He's taking my shot. So
yeah, I was expecting Teofimo to kind of deliver that performance he did against Richard Comey. I thought he was going to deliver that kind of performance, that kind of knockout, but it's a much higher weight class. These fighters are accustomed to taking these hard punches, so he had to really work for that stoppage.
I fully expected there to be, a transition period as far as him going up in that weight, taking a couple punches, getting used to the speed, getting used to carrying the weight, just like everything that comes with 140. So, I expected him to go through a couple bumps in the road, just trying to get acclimated to the weight.
Right.
Yeah, that division just full of killers. We haven't even mentioned Jose Ramirez, who's another top guy in that division.
I was gonna say that's probably like out of all the top guys, I probably want to see Teo fight him.
Yeah.
First, yeah.
And we haven't talked about Jack Catterall. Catterall's in the situation also.
True.
He beat Josh Taylor, if you ask a lot of people. So he deserves to be in this conversation too. He deserves to be in there too. So that's another one that you got to worry about.
Yeah.
No, Jack Catterall for sure. He's another top dog.
I actually have faith in Teofimo. I mean, giving him a couple more fights, I think he can solidify his position at 140. If he's able to get a title shot, I don't think he's going to take it easy. I'm pretty sure he's going to go all in.
Yeah.
I mean, but he can also shock us like he did with Loma. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, he can just, as long as they give him the opportunity, anything can happen. I don't see him as a bad fighter. I actually do see him still at that top level.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. I think for sure. I mean, I wouldn't take the title shot out of the picture for him based on yesterday's performance, But if Kambosos, I'm just thinking like if Kambosos goes up, we'll see if that affects, Teofimo's mentality because it's so like recovery mode. And then you see the guy that, took that from you come up. It's like, do you go after him or are you just like, no, I don't want that one yet,
Yeah.
He's still talking like he wants him, though. He's talking like he wants him because I think in an interview he said that Kambosos was going to be the one dead. Like he didn't really want to kill him, obviously, but that was just kind of the way that he was talking. Like I'm gonna see him again, so I expect them to cross paths again at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, and be talking about championships. I know Josh Taylor just keeps dropping these championships left and right because of these mandatories that get called. And I know I saw the IBF I think ordered another title shot, so that might be another belt that becomes up for grabs.
What's up with Josh Taylor? Is he really trying to avoid fighters, or is it he just doesn't want to?
I think he's focused on trying to make the Jack Catterall rematch. That's the one that it was very, very debatable. A lot of people thought he lost that fight, so he had stated he was moving up to 147, but now because of all the backlash, he's staying at 140 just to fight Jack Catterall. So any basically sanctioned body that's trying to get in the way for that, he's dropping the belt. I do hope that he fights Jack Catterall for at least one belt. I think it's unfair for Jack Catterall to not fight for a championship when he rightfully should have had all four already.
Yep.
Completely agree. Completely. Isn't it crazy how things happen, because at one point, like you were saying, we were talking about Josh Taylor going up to 147 and possibly fighting Terrence Crawford. And people were saying, you know what, I might want to actually see that fight based on what he did against Ramirez and what he did against Regis Prograis also. So people were like, you know what, I might actually want to see that fight. Then he has a fight with Catterall and people think he loses. And then he's saying, no, I'm staying at 140 now. I want this rematch. And just with everything, man, it's been a headache just trying to keep up with it and let people know what's going on with it. So it's been a lot going on with that situation.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we're closing it out, but I want to give everyone an opportunity to kind of give your closing comments and also shout out your channel, your page, where people can find you. So we'll start with you, Your Boxing Fix.
Yeah, man. Once again, it was definitely nice hanging out with everyone. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Same way that you see it right on your screen there, Your Boxing Fix. Everything boxing, same thing that you do. Jose, love what you're doing. And follow me and we'll talk boxing.
Perfect. All right, B.
Yeah, so closing thoughts. I mean, like I said, I thought it was a good fight, but as far as one of those top champions that he named, not next. Take another tune-up and then see how that goes. But you guys can follow me on @BoxingWithB everywhere on all platforms, and then podcast as well.
Great. Thank you, B. All right, David.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay to my comment. I just think Teofimo, if he establishes himself at 140, I'm pretty sure he can be the reigning and undisputed if he plays his cards right. And you guys can reach me if you don't believe me, or if you guys want to contest that at SportsNTunes on Instagram, and on YouTube it's SportsNTunes Worldwide, or you can catch me with Joe at MoBoxing, no problem.
Awesome, brother. All right, Mario, where can people find you and closing thoughts?
Mario_Tapia 9 on Instagram. And out of everything, I'd probably want to see him fight Jose Ramirez. And then I got a little surprise for you guys.
Yeah, before he leaves.
Triple G.
Ask him the backstory on that.
Yeah, what is the backstory on that, Mario, before we wrap up?
I had dinner with him and stuff.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
I was about to say I got a shirt too, but it's not signed like that.
You didn't get it signed over dinner, huh?
Nah, that's not the only thing signed.
Oh, check this out. He has my pink gloves. He needs to give them back, but he won't because they're signed now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. Always a pleasure talking boxing with you guys, and then we'll catch up again real soon on another big fight.
All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Nice talking to you guys.
All right.
Thank
you. All right. Later, guys.